Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sparkris Inspiration. How is everybody? I love that this card came up, initiation, because to me, this definitely reminds me of temperance. Because whatever we want to initiate in our life, let's be balanced, let's be fair, let's be reasonable. I am very grandiose lots of times in my planning. I want to make this spectacular piece of jewelry. I want to create this amazing garden. I want to do this and that. And what happens is I make the outlay so huge and grandiose that I have a hard time beginning it. So let's initiate just the first step, okay? So say there's something you want to do today. Listen, I really feel like I'm a master procrastinator right now. If I pull one or two presents out and I start to wrap them, I'll feel better. Start small, initiate something. And temperance and this kind of card together, because I keep seeing the temperance card, shows a need for balance and accuracy when life feels precarious, right? I just read this thing on Instagram that it made me tear up because life is extremely, it's the opposite ends of the spectrum for a lot of people right now. And we could personally be feeling both. I definitely do. I love Christmas so much for the giving, the family spirit, the celebration, the meals, the connected. Like I was saying yesterday, I just had a lovely time being able to drop off a latte and a cookie to our local shoemaker and cobbler because he's so sweet and he's always busy. And he's just lovely. And I remember one time when I went in and I got a special bag for me. It was so cute. He kissed my hand and I thought that is so sweet. It was like this old world gentlemanliness. So I love that. It's a chance for me to go visit people and drop something off and do something for my postman and other people that do things, for us. There might be lots of demands on us, but we can take control. We may need to budget or plan our time to create more stability. An additional thing that we can do too is be a peacekeeper or negotiator in these times. We know we have family members that don't gel very well together. Let's just show them the other's perspective, maybe in little one-on-ones, because I've always believed this, and I've noticed this since I've been a young kid, that emotions are contagious. So when we are hostile or we are defensive, the other person becomes that as well. So just let's let down these guards and say, listen, I love you and I want you to have a good sense of well-being. I don't want you to have to feel combative, with your sister, with your mother. So how about you? I love those things where you see people, we all sit down and we pay a compliment what we love most about each other. And sometimes people just need to hear that reassuring thing. Say right now you have a daughter or son or something is just acting up and they're anxious and they feel like they're not being able to provide their friends with gifts they want or whatever. A lot of people, there's anxiety that can be attached right now. So, we just reassure them and tell them something. We love the fact that they're generous and thinking of their friends in the first place. And then watch how they react differently as to, is there a reason you never pick up your room? Is there a reason you leave the kitchen a mess? Like we don't want to be that font of, that kind of like, discouraging energy or judgmental or critical energy, because it just adds to their complex place of their emotions too, right, where they can feel like I'm never good enough, I never measure up, things of those things of those nature. So we really have to be careful what we emit in the vibe. And it is very strong and it does resonate within us after somebody says something. Those words carry weight. They're very persuasive, and we don't want to persuade our offspring or any relative or friend to think that we think little of them or we think they come up short, right? So let's initiate change in that regard, how we speak and how we address one another. Two, notice in patterns when you're talking to somebody. Do they always seem to get the conversational best out of you because they're more aggressive, or they just keep saying the same thing over and over, or they go in the past? Just let it rest. I mean, I've been experienced this lately with one individual where it's like they think by repeating the same thing or rehashing something, I'm going to be distracted. And you do. Sometimes you just hit a dead end because you get frustrated. But know that for what it is. It can be gaslighting and other things. And just let it go and be like, this is that person's coping mechanism. But I'm going to initiate change in myself and try to bring things up that vibration. Initiate whatever change you want, you guys. If you want to feel more secure, start to put away a little bit of money each week. It doesn't have to be this huge substantial sum, just a little bit that lets you know, guess what, you're able to do this, and you can add to it as much as you want. or as little, but you're going to start to see that you can change any pattern for the better. And you'll start to do that in different areas of your life. You give yourself permission to succeed in little ways, and then they become bigger and bigger and bigger. And all of a sudden you're like, I have a nest egg. I have a healthier body due to the fact that I walk, or I'm not, polluting it with all these chemicals and candy and sugar and stuff all the time. I am watching podcasts and listen to speakers that raise my vibration and let me know of my potentials, things of that. And that's where imagination comes in. Our imagination is so, so important to us when we want to reveal new beginnings that are open to us, tangible gifts, material gains that we can have in the form of anything we want when we put our focus and attention on it and bringing it into our reality. Like, I love this, a little game that I play. I'm like, you know what? I love this. I bet I can turn this into a revenue stream. Therefore, I can be more generous with this person and that person in my family or whatever. And I do that. It starts with my imagination. It'll start with a color scheme, maybe for jewelry. It'll, all these little things just pop in. So use your imagination. What I'd love for you to do, and this helps me all the time, I wake up and I start with a gratitude list. I pick 5 things I feel good for. I'm so glad, that I have my family and they're healthy and safe. And today I had little things, and I think that I manifested this as well. I said, I really want to see, I call them fat mochis, Metastopheles, and I want to see moonbeams out and come get their food. I hadn't seen them in days. I was really nervous. They're just little kind of, my little wild cats. They don't come in the house. I already have 5 cats. Thank you very much. But I love them and I feed them and I talk to them every day, and I hadn't seen them in days. Who came out this morning? We're sitting on the fence, both of them. So I made these lovely little makeshift. I have a regular cat beach house for them to go in, and they won't go in or around any of this. So what do I make? A cardboard box, a big, strong cardboard box, and I slip into a big, thick garbage bag. So it's like a tunnel, and it's dry and it's warm. And guess who runs in there? Moonbeams, and she's eating her food, and she's all happy. And I was so relieved. I do know some, those little things about cats. They don't like to feel cornered, so I feel like the beach house with the little door made them feel like that. But they just want to be dry and warm. And now I feel better, and I feel like in my mind, I started to focus on them being happy and dry in any little, abode that I made for them, and now I made it happen. It started with my imagination. How can I keep them dry and warm? What do cats love? Boxes. A, there we go. But how do we keep it dry? Put it in a bag. B, there we go. Now my mind is settled on that. Use your imagination towards anything that you want to accrue, to level up in, to discover. Imagination. That's why I always loved like Peter Pan, Alice in Wonderland, all of that. It's fantastical and wonderful, but doesn't Alice makes you want to go out and venture and journey and discover those strengths you have in you, and that's exactly what you'll do, which folds in beautifully with the alchemist, because the alchemist says all you need first is that little spark that says, and this is about putting 2 and 2 together, cognitively. This isn't that hard to do. So how can I do this? Today, I want to bake a pie for my neighbor. Let's get the ingredients. That's what the alchemist does. They get the ingredients. It's a message, an opportunity, a positive influence on you. And oftentimes when we commit and we have a little bit of planning, that's part of the alchemy. Then we just start it, right? Everything that gets done because it was at a starting point. And when we don't have perfectionism and we don't have it be so grandiose or such large scale that we talk ourselves out of it, we're able to do it, right? I'm not going to jog 5 miles today. I am going to walk around the block a couple times. I am not going to write an entire novel today. I am going to write 1 page. Starting, that's the alchemy. Let me get that paper, my pen, my resources. Have all the things that you love and need to provide this cool, acquiescence to your imagination around you. Put around. I will first gather paints and put them on the table. I'll keep looking and I'll get all excited. Ooh, I'll already start to see what I want to paint. Go get my canvas, instead of being like, oh, I'm going to need my water. I'm going to need all this and that. Forget it. It's like I just first put the first little step out in front of me looking at the paints, and that induces me to want to get all the other things to work within that. So we're always the alchemist of our own dreams. When we start to portion out a little of this hope, adventure, excitement, right? Enthusiasm. That's part of the brew, and we mix it in our little mortar and pestle. What else? Little mood music? Hells yeah, I'm going to paint a picture. I need some, let's see, who works well with this? I think maybe a little bit of Florence and the Machine, right? Enya, something like that, depending on what we're painting. Really get in the groove and really relax. And you guys comment down below if you have certain music that helps your creative process. I'm just very curious. I love anything that has to do with like Enya or flutes or natural music. Florence and the Machine. I just love her stuff. It's so ethereal and beautiful. Yeah, comment on who helps get that going for you. I used to love painting with Eleni in her little kitchen, because she loved hard rock and it used to crack me up. She just put on, it was almost like death metal at some points, and I'd laugh. I was like, girl, what you got on that radio? She like loved it. That was her jam. And especially she was painting like Picasso like things, or very expressive, because she would dig deep and just make some amazing stuff like out of this freaking world. But that was her kind of tempo. She loved that big, heavy rock beat type of thing. So those are your messages for today. You guys, thank you so much for your love and support and all your comments. You guys are the absolute best. I love and adore you. You guys are just amazing. We're all just growing and learning. And I want to make a special video tomorrow because, you know, the summer solstice, right now they did a filming, if you guys want to know too, on Stonehenge people there. It was, oh my gosh, it's like, I'll talk further on this tomorrow because it's like I'm so excited that I have so many visions and thoughts and stuff right now, and I want to gain some clarity before I speak on it, and I'll insert a little clip of it and some other things as well. So love and light to all of you guys. Be well.